Aha.
Miss Warbeck did ask you to make it look pretty.
One shall complete the task to the degree it is requested.
Oh yes, I see. Everything is now ready for the arrival of the guest.
I assume you have the list of guests?
I am afraid not. It would usually be an essential part of my preparation. In fact, it perturbs me.
Would you like me to find Miss Warbeck? There may still be some time to check the list. Look, there's Miss Farquhar with Miss Babinin.
Seems that they became fast friends after the incident on the Intriguing.
Intriguing how?
Speculation, monsieur. Nothing more.
That head of yours is just constantly full of thoughts.
Who's this? I have no idea, but she's sure to turn heads with such a fetching dress.
I quite agree. And who is this dapper-looking gentleman?
Mon Dieu.
Wait a minute. Is that... Well, I never! Poirot, you devil! Forgive me. What are my manners? Detective Poirot.
Goodness, Monsieur Demire. Poirot is more than adequate for an old friend.
He saves my family from near ruin, uncovers a murderous plan, and still has the modesty to not correct a buffoon like me.
Allow me to introduce my...
Heavens, my manners appear to have been replaced by surprise and excitement. Forgive me. Monsieur Demire, this is Monsieur Arthur Hastings.
You've got yourself a partner now. Well, any friend of Poirot's is surely a friend of mine.
Monsieur Hastings has been kind enough to show me the sights of London. A more than adequate guide.
I would take that. It's as often as a blue moon you see Poirot handing out approvals like that.
And what is it you do, Mr. Demire?
A previous field medic, Monsieur Demire now finds himself working for...
With
his brother, doing most honorable charitable work all across London.
Need I say more?
Could everyone gather together for a photograph, please? Would you all move a bit closer together for me, please?
I didn't realize we were going to be in the newspaper.
Is that a problem?
No, not at all. I just want the camera to get my best side.
Okay, if everyone is ready.
So, Poirot, what on earth are...
My orders were to see to the safe travel of the centerpiece of the exhibition, the penitent Magdalene. Monsieur Hastings here travels with me, covering any administrations and insurance requirements.
Art protection? That's a bit beneath the great Hercule Poirot, isn't it?
Perhaps you would be so kind as to introduce us.
Ah, where's the fun in that? We have to make sure those... What's it you call them again?
You are referring to my little grays...
Little grey cells, yes? Ah, that's it. I've been playing a little game. I've been trying to find a painting to match each of the guests. At least the ones I'm acquainted with. I wondered, Poirot, do you think you can ascertain which paintings match which guests? I can give you a little info, but you'll need to make your own inquiries. Miss Irene Courtsmith. She's one you'll want to keep your eye on in the future art scene. Born and raised on a rather affluent estate, she turned her back on her parents in her teens to start a new life in London as an artist.
She's a very nice young lady.
Ah, really? Interested, are we?
I was only making a comment on her nature, nothing untoward, I can assure you.
Or as we are all meant to refer to him as, the Honorable Reverend Horace Mountjoy. He's a man of the church. I'm not sure what else there is to say. If you're wanting to keep the lectures to a minimum, Mortimer Aylesworth. If you've not heard of him, I'd get familiar with the name. Eton and Cambridge educated, he followed in his father's political footsteps and has already surpassed them. Johann Christiansen and his glamorous wife Betty Allen.
Betty Allen, the actress?
The very same. They've been here in London for a few years, although she still plays down her boldness for British society.
She did not take his name in marriage?
Allen is her maiden name. Works as her stage name too. A lot snappier than Christiansen.
And his employment?
He's a partner for a private bank in London. He has told me what he actually does many times before, and many times I've forgotten. You will no doubt already know our host, Evelyn Warbeck.
We have already made her acquaintance. Very pleasant, if not rather flustered by today's exhibition.
That's everyone. Well, there's Mr. Hastings here. I'm sure we shall get to know each other better. And our mystery woman.
Anastasia Babanin. We met briefly while traversing the channel.
Look at you, Poirot. Got a love interest of your own, huh?
Monsieur Demire, must I remind you of why I am here?
No. No need at all. I know you're strictly business. Let's see what you can do then. And come back to me when you know enough about the guests to solve my little mystery. So, have you any thoughts?
Everything seems to be running smoothly. You've done a sterling job.
Everything except for the bishop and the other trustees, stooges.
It was never going to be easy going up against them. All men of a certain age, not used to the idea of change. But they didn't get their way this time. And with my exhibit coming up, this place will finally have a showing they can be proud of.
Mademoiselle Court-Smythe believes her upcoming exhibition will change the perspective of the trustees and the public. I get the feeling she enjoys the accolades and
Detective Poirot, you're looking much happier being on solid land.
There was a moment when I thought that wretched sea would get the best of me.
Well, I'm certainly glad it didn't.
As am I. Please, do not allow me to disturb you, madame. Adieu.
Beautiful, isn't it? Not like the modern tripe Miss Warbeck insists on bringing into the museum. Oh, the Lord will not look fondly upon her choices.
I would hope one's choice of art would not affect one's chances for a better afterlife.
Let's hope not, for her sake. Incredible, isn't it? And to think we are all located on that one small planet, revolving around an all-encompassing star. To think of all the suffering. I give what I can to charity, but what this country needs is someone willing to put the poor first.
I'm well aware of where we are. I just want to make sure I'm looking my best for the photographs.
And people call me the drama queen.
Oh. Huh. Oh. Huh. Ah.
It is a great pleasure to see you again, mademoiselle.
I've been looking forward to us bumping into one another. Thank you again for your help.
I must admit, I feel almost tormented that I was not able to uncover the identity of the thief.
All that matters is that it was found. If you'll excuse me, I really should get on. This article isn't going to write itself. I moan, but it's my love. My obsession, you could say.
How dare you! That might be something you say where you're from, but not here. Not to me.
What a waste of champagne.
I thought this was supposed to be a civilized event.
Are you all right, mademoiselle? I hope you did not spill any champagne on your gown.
Don't worry about me. It's only that wretched man that has got some cleaning up to do.
His suit and his mouth, by the sounds of it.
Do not allow this to ruin your day.
I have no intention of allowing such a thing. In fact, we have business to discuss.
It would be good to at least schedule a time that suits us both.
Monsieur Christiansen and Madame Hélène have returned.
You are to be the focus of Mademoiselle Farquhar's article.
Miss Court Smythe here is the next big name, and she has been kind enough to offer me an exclusive interview.
Madame Hélène has left via the exit, but Monsieur Christiansen has not gone with her.
Do not allow me to interrupt your work.
You've had more than enough time, Detective. So, how did you get on?
If one is to discover the truth, one must proceed using the correct methods and cannot...
Why might they be like this particular pea? That's right! Although I shouldn't be surprised. Anyone else? Why might they be like this particular pea? That's right! Although I shouldn't. Anyone else? Why might they be like this particular... That's right! Although I shouldn't be surprised. Anyone else? Why might they be like this particular... That's right! Although I Anyone else? Why might they be like this particular... That's right! Although I shouldn't be surprised. Anyone else? Why might they... That's right! Although I shouldn't be surprised. Anyone else? Why might they be like this particular... That's right! Although I shouldn't be surprised. That's everyone. Well done. I should have known it'd be no challenge for you.
I have faced many a more demanding challenge, but few quite...
Hi, is he okay? I think something's wrong with him.
I think he's having a heart attack. He seems stable. Now's the time to get him...
Oh, there's no need for that. I'm feeling much...
Wouldn't it be best to telephone for a real?
Monsieur Demire was a field medic. What more of a professional is required?
A field medic? Really?
A field medic that has seen people in a lot worse states, who didn't have the luxury of a proper hospital.
I didn't mean to offend. If I am being carted off, the unveiling must go on. I will not have this silly old man ruining the gala for everyone.
You drive a hard bargain, Monsieur Aylesworth.
I'd just like to say a few words.
I'm sure you would.
Thank you all for coming. Here at the Royal Edward Gallery, we are proud to present such wonderful works by some truly fantastic artists. And with much negotiation and pleading, we have been able to secure a most fabulous and individual piece. Standing here with you, unveiling today's centerpiece, the Penitent Magdalene, really is a special moment for both this museum and so, without further ado...
Oh my.
Am I missing something here?
Things just got interesting.
It was. It should be.
Is this some kind of joke? Evelyn, what's going on here? Oh, trust you to have no idea. You've really done it this time, girl.
She's done nothing. It's not her fault.
By the grace of God, it's somebody's fault.
I am quite sure Mademoiselle Warbeck is as surprised as us all. S'il vous plaît, everyone. Remain where you are. Please do not touch a thing. Monsieur Hastings, you saw me lock the door to the restoration room, oui?
Of course. I was by your side. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble for this.
You are not responsible for the painting's disappearance.
But who is?
Do not allow any of the guests to leave the main hall.
And what are you going to do?
What is required? One's job.
So, I don't really know what to say.
Monsieur Hastings, this theft may be a new and foreign concept to you. But to Detective Poirot, it is just another case waiting to be solved.
What do we do then?
We must get to work. If we can ascertain the thief's point of entry and exit, this may all be resolved momentarily.
Aha. Ah. Oh. Huh.
Ah. Hot on the culprits here. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming.
Gentlemen, I have called the police and they should arrive shortly. What can I do?
Do you still hold the master key?
Of course. You are the only other person who has had access to it.
Très bien. Please keep it close. I believe the thief may be one of the guests here today.
The answer was staring me in the face.
Monsieur Hastings, I pose this question to you. If Mademoiselle Warbeck still has the master key,
Is she not a suspect herself?
très bien.
Mademoiselle Warbeck is likely not our thief. The real thief did not care about the museum and what is hung on its walls.
At some time during this evening's festivities, the key was taken from her pocket and used in the restoration room door with... If we find the pickpocket, we will uncover our painting thief. First. Mesdames et messieurs, your attention, please. I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian police force. I was charged with the safety of the penitent Magdalene painting on its voyage to London from Belgium. The missing painting has indeed cut the celebrations of the gala short, and so I consider my duty to, with your cooperation, I ask that you all remain within the building. And
If I was the thief, I would certainly be worried after a speech like that. I just wonder if... Maybe...
Monsieur Hastings, the painting's safe return also falls upon your shoulders.
I know, but I can make myself useful elsewhere, see what clues I can find.
Some would say a lucky guess. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Voila.
Madame Warbeck, a moment of your time, if you would.
I was rather busy, as you saw, especially with Irene and her disappearing act.
Disappearing act? An artist and a magician. She is a woman of many talents.
She was nowhere to be found. Is that better? She was supposed to help me organize everything. Then I saw her throwing her glass of champagne at Mrs. Allen's husband. I was hoping to speak with her after, but I didn't see her again until she was calling down from the balcony following Mr. Aylesworth's collapse. Mr. Christensen, Betty Allen's husband. After the theft, on my way to telephone the police, he was looking for something in the West Wing.
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for now. Bonsoir, Your Excellency.
I should be addressed as your...
Pardon. I did not mean to offend, Your Grace. It's just that in Belgium...
It is quite all right. None of us can choose where we're born. If I must, I was talking with Mr. Aylesworth for a time. Some strange opinions, that one.
Would you care to elaborate?
You were not present for that conversation, and I hardly think it appropriate to involve you now. Although, I will say, he was rather keen to see the orrery from the... He left, and I spoke briefly to that actress, but she wandered off looking for her husband. Who would have thought the reveal of the missing painting would cause a man to...
Perhaps a warning to us all that such a scare could come at any time.
Are you trying to say that is what's going to happen to me?
Your Grace has misinterpreted my meaning. But on the matter of where you were at the time...
Then maybe you should think before you speak. And I was talking with a young Russian girl.
Merci. Bonsoir, Mademoiselle Babagnan.
Please, Detective. Surely we are...
What you may consider a formality, I consider it...
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting the other guests. I feel so fortunate just to be invited myself.
Modesty is the color of virtue. Now, mademoiselle, you were saying...
Oh, yes. We all gathered for that delightful photograph. Then I did notice the actress and the politician return.
And the other guests?
I saw Bishop Mountjoy and the politician. Oh, forgive me, I forget. It was much earlier in the night. Well, before that.
You have been as enchanting as... Mademoiselle, if you have a moment, I wish to ask you some questions.
Look around you, Detective. Out of the ordinary is the ordinary here.
Regarding the guests of the gala, You had the opportunity to speak with them all?
I met that delightful Farquhar girl, the art critic. With any luck, her article will finally give me the respect I deserve.
Your talk on the balcony went well, I presume.
Well, indeed. We weren't up there for long before the poor politician was struck down. What? Before I wasted a perfectly good glass of champagne on that man, you mean?
That is certainly one way to tell the story.
I'd hardly call him trying to push himself upon me as a story.
With his wife in the same room?
You think a man with that much arrogance cares? Women are nothing more than objects to him. One day he'll learn his lesson.
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for... Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
It seems trouble follows you, Detective.
So it would appear. And the faster I am able to ask my questions, the faster this...
I saw Betty leave the main hall and head for the West Wing after the whole champagne debacle. What do you think that was all about?
It is not my job to speculate on such private matters. It is to uncover the location of the missing painting and who is responsible.
If there is someone who can, it's you, Detective.
Merci, mademoiselle. Bonsoir, Monsieur Christiansen.
Detective, what a mess you have on your hands.
That is certainly one way to describe it. Perhaps you can begin to help me to clear up this mess.
I was with Betty most of the evening. She wasn't feeling herself. I'm glad I didn't leave and miss out on all of this. Don't tell me you don't get a little thrill when a new case appears.
I do not think about such thrills, Monsieur Christiansen. Only justice.
All business, no pleasure, I see. I remember seeing the priest.
The bishop?
Yes, him. He came down the stairs just before Mr. Aylesworth recovered. Maybe a man of the... Oh, you saw...
I believe every soul in the museum did, or at least heard the commotion.
So I look like the bad guy, hmm? That's what you get for standing up to a bully, I suppose.
A bully?
She made some pretty awful comments about Betty and her career. And I wasn't just going to stand by and let her say whatever she wanted. You should lock her up for what she did to me. She's unhinged. Are you married, Detective Poirot?
I am not.
Then heed my warning. If your wife, whenever she comes along, wants to be left alone, you...
Merci, monsieur.
I thought I would make myself useful, and I think I found some things of note.
Bon. I shall go and retrieve them now. You were wise to not touch them and contaminate any evidence.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I did only move them to the West Wing.
Fantastique.
One step closer. Magnifique. What a revelation! Things are beginning to become...
What can I do for you?
Merci.
Aha. Huh. Oh. Aha. Huh. Ah. Hmm. Ah. Aha.
If it'll help retrieve the painting. Of course. I have the key.
Mademoiselle, the key?
I'm sorry. You said it yourself. I think I should just hold on to it.
I was not expecting Mademoiselle Warbeck's hesitation.
Mademoiselle Warbeck, I really must insist on access to the restoration room. I find your reluctance to oblige a little troubling, mademoiselle.
Now listen. I am the curator of this museum.
Miss Warbeck, will you let the man in? I, for one, would like to get to the bottom of this tonight.
Please, Evelyn. Let's not drag this on all night.
Evelyn Warbeck?
That's me.
Detective Inspector Hardwick. I was told a painting's been half-inched.
Yes,
Stolen. Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian police, seconded by the Musée Royal des Beaux-Arts de Belgique and Lloyd's of London to escort the penitent Magdalene here. How do you do, Detective Inspector Hardwick?
Well, thank you for that introduction, Mr. Poirot, but we won't be needing your help this evening.
But you see, not only do I have a considerable personal stake in this matter, I also possess undoubtedly the finest investigatory...
I'm sure Belgium thinks you're the bee's knees, but we'll be just fine and dandy.
I must insist, Inspector.
Bloody hell. I don't have time for this. Will someone try and get through to this man before he does my...
Dear Mr. Poirot, I know you meant well, but perhaps now is not the time to push the inspector's button.
Très bien. Monsieur Hastings, the fate of the penitent Magdalene lies in our hands.
And Miss Warbeck's career, by the sound of it.
Then we shall waste no time. We have spoken with a number of the guests from the gala, but there still remains those who are absent. They may be able to offer a clue as...
Then let's go and find them.
Poirot, over here. I heard about the painting. Trouble just seems to follow you. If there's anything I can do to help.
I am looking for Madame Hélène. Would you know where I could find her?
If she's not on stage already or rehearsing, she'll be in her dressing room. That alleyway will take you to the back door.
Oh, this isn't quite what I was expecting from a famous star like Betty Allen.
A famous star that is not on stage, nor in her dressing room.
You don't think something could have happened to her?
Combining the state of the room and her being absent,
Oh. Huh. Aha. Oh. Huh.
Ah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Huh. Oh. Huh.
Logical thinking shall always... Another success. Hot on the culprit's heels. One step closer to revealing...
What do you need? What can I do for you?
The fact that there are valuable items remaining in the safe leads me to believe that the thief was looking for something specifically. Something that they knew would be present, meaning they had previous knowledge of the contents of Madame Hélène's safe.
What do you need? What can I do for you? Why, Mrs. Allen?
Madame Hélène was behind the mess that lies before us.
What do you think you're doing in here?
Pardon, Madame Hélène. I do not wish to cause any alarm.
Yeah, I remember you. Doesn't give you the right...
Snooping, no. Wait.
You can wait outside. I'll talk to you there. Well, go on then, shoot.
Madame Allen, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Look, let's just get on with this.
I promise not to take up too much of...
Well, thanks to Johann walking off, I got stuck talking, a term I use loosely, with Mr. Aylesworth and the all-important bishop, as he likes to consider himself.
Where did your husband go?
Beats me. But when I saw him next, he was being attacked by that crazy artist. You must have seen it.
I did, and while I do not condone such behavior...
If you are going to defend that woman's actions against my husband, I'll stop you there. Not really any of your business.
I would not forgive myself if something improper had happened and I had not...
You've got nothing to worry about. I'm an emotional woman. Let's just leave it at that. I thought it was best to just get myself out of there. He may have bitten his tongue, but if I'd got my hands on her...
Your husband mentioned you were feeling under the weather, no?
Me? No.
Je vois. May I also ask about...
I've heard the Brits like that stuff. Not for me, though. Sorry.
You have been most helpful.
What do you need? What can I do?
Merci.
I told you last time you made a mess of things that if anything else was to happen,
So, you are blaming me for the painting going missing? I have poured my heart and my soul into...
Pardon. Perhaps this is a conversation that should be had behind closed doors.
this conversation will happen where and when I want...
What Detective Poirot means is maybe somewhere a little less public would be a better place to have it.
I am well aware of what your foreign friend...
Let us not say anything that one would later regret. A moment to breathe for everyone.
You do as much breathing as you want.
Mademoiselle, may I request a minute of your time?
What can I do for...
Can you not see that we're busy?
Your Grace, there are matters we really must discuss.
You do understand my...
Merci. Mademoiselle, may I request...
What can I do for...
I don't think you quite understand the severity of the situation, Detective Inspector.
I'm well aware, and I'll conduct my investigation how I see fit.
That just isn't good enough. How would you feel if... Who am I kidding? You could never afford something like that.
I can assure you Detective Inspector Hardwick and his men will be doing all they can to find...
Now you have some officer from another country entirely fighting your battles for you.
I speak on behalf of no one but myself.
And I didn't ask you. Hardwick, get it found.
Right you are.
Detective Inspector Hardwick has made it quite clear that my valuable insight is not wanted. Perhaps I should find an alternative means of...
Will you allow some officer a moment of your time?
I'm a very busy man.
And then I shall keep my question short.
I'd say the heart attack was the most memorable part of the day.
Quite understandable. But before that?
I was talking to the bishop, or rather being talked at. He doesn't see it, but he gets quite heated. That's the last thing I remember. I did. That man just wants someone to listen to his incessant ramblings. I just couldn't stand there and listen to him anymore. I decided to walk away and see the orrery from above. Then
You two spoke?
Briefly, but she was looking for her husband, so I think...
I will not take up any more of your time.
If you want to deal with him, fine by me.
Hello? Who's that?
Bonjour, madame.
You're not English. Where are you from? What are you...
Madame, I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the...
So what?
I was hoping to speak with a neighbor of yours. Mademoiselle...
She's not in. Are you...
Do you know how long she...
You can give her this. I'd tell her I did what I could with it.
I will be sure to do that. Adieu, madame.
Oh.
I hope you're getting something out of waste. Heated? Who said that?
They are the words of Monsieur Ellsworth.
Oh, the man is in politics. He should know what heated looks like. Maybe I was a little... There was no one else around. How was I to know he was having a heart attack when he clutched his chest? It could have been anything. And when I saw he was in trouble, I went to get help. I suppose
I do not believe Bishop Mountjoy was the instigator of Monsieur Ellsworth's heart attack, but it appears he does.
Merci, Your Grace.
What can I do for you? He knows just how to push. He knows what this museum means to me.
That is clear to us all.
He thinks he can say and do what he wants because of his position. But if he thinks he can get this museum is my life, and if anyone, including him, tries to do any... I'm sorry. The detective inspector was quite adamant I wasn't to allow any...
Detective Hercule Poirot is not just any man, mademoiselle.
And modest to boot. I suppose it can't hurt. Follow me. There you go.
The key. It is in a far better condition than yesterday.
It was looking grubby and covered in rust, so I cleaned it. Is that a problem?
If you find anything else that may be of importance to the investigation...
Aha.
Huh. Ah. Oh. Aha. Huh. Huh. Aha. Oh. Mm-hmm. Ah. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Magnifique. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Voilà. When the thief entered this room from the west wing, there was no paint on the key. We know this because there was no paint on the key when they used it on the door to the gallery. But there is paint on the key when the thief locks the west wing door after stealing the...
The key got covered in paint in this room.
Oui. And only after the painting was stolen. So, the picture is becoming clearer. And the paint is the... The thief unlocked the door from the west wing unlocked the door to the gallery and stole the painting. They then returned, whereupon they laid the painting on the deck. The thief locked the door and returned to the painting. But then, an accident. They dropped the key into the...
How can you be so sure?
We know because the paint palette was the only source of blue paint in the room that the key could have dropped in.
But why put the painting on this table, where items may be knocked or where they may be heard?
Ah. Aha. Huh. Oh.
What do you need? What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Merci, monsieur.
Oh.
Aha.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss Babanian? She wanted to speak with me after the bishop was finished chewing my ear.
I'm afraid not.
Can't have been that important then.
Oh.
Ah.
You're just full of questions, aren't you? Where did you get that?
It was found in a vent at the museum. Perhaps the very last thing I...
Yes. Well, thank you. I knew I had lost it somewhere.
A clearly valuable ring has just been returned to Madame.
And I would not describe throwing a ring at one's husband resulting in it being stuck in a vent.
It is clear Madame Hélène felt no sickness at the gala, rather anger. And having seen the damage that she has caused in her own, one can conclude that it was the state of her marriage that allowed her emotions to get the better.
You have been most helpful.
The detective inspector will now be able to see as plain as day that Mademoiselle Court Smythe is the guilty party. Now to find him.
With the other remaining guests' movements all accounted for, she was the...
What can I do for you?
Merci, mademoiselle.
I hope you'll get...
Merci. What do you need? What can I... Merci.
Gentlemen, have you seen Miss Babanian? She wanted to speak with me after the bishop was finished chewing my ear off.
I'm afraid not.
Can't have been that important then.
What can I do?
Merci.
What can I do for you?
Merci, madame.
Ah, Detective, you're here.
Look and you shall find.
Oh, well, I've had the photographs from the garden.
That's good thinking, Miss Farquhar.
Oui, very kind. There is nothing left for us to do but to take our findings to Detective Inspector.
Do you think he'll listen?
It is his duty as a high-ranking officer of the law. We have done all but arrest Mademoiselle Court Smythe for him. If it is the act...
I was thinking that while you were speaking with Miss Court Smythe, I could try and find Mr. Christensen at their home.
It would certainly be more efficient. And...
Him with a funny accent. He was here earlier asking the same questions. All I want is a bit of peace.
I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
Monsieur Hastings, your assistance is required immediately.
Good Lord, Poirot, that's a lot of smoke.
And now you are up to speed with the situation. I have evaluated the position we find.
If you're going to use the fire extinguisher, now would be the time.
Très bien.
That's it. One more should do it.
Detective Inspector, it is imperative we search the crime scene as soon as possible.
You mean my crime scene?
If I may, I can count on one hand how many crime scenes I have seen in my life, and as the representative of Lloyd's of London Bank, it is my responsibility to handle all matters regarding...
A weak attempt, but I've got more on my plate than dealing with some paper pusher git. You've got until I return to do whatever it is you need to do. And if I find one thing out of place...
You may question my authority in this case, but I will not...
Whatever you say.